All the way back in ye olden days of June 2015, this was at E3, Microsoft showed off something they were calling HoloLens. And in their little showcase, they showed the ability to augment or mix reality using a headset, and they're playing a Minecraft-style game with this HoloLens headset. And as you can see in this video, they're looking into this world that is being sort of projected into reality, and they're manipulating it with their hands and doing all sorts of wonderful, crazy, wild things in that augmented reality. Now, I thought that was quite a cool thing when it was announced, when they were showing this off now 6 years ago. Well, things have progressed a long ways in terms of augmented reality, virtual reality, etc., etc. Obviously, now things like the Oculus Quest are quite inexpensive, and they've actually sold really pretty well. And so now AR, or VR rather, is beginning to break into the consumer market. We've also had companies try things like mixed reality and augmented reality, but no one's really had any massive success. But what I want to point out to you today is that Microsoft actually has had massive success with HoloLens, in particular augmented or mixed reality, without many people even realizing the kind of success that they've been having. Let's look at this headline here from Forbes. Army makes historic $22 billion HoloLens deal with Microsoft. Microsoft is building a HoloLens device for the military to use, and again, $22 billion. So Microsoft is not just the only company out there making money with AR or mixed reality, MR. They're making bukus of money from it. And what they're talking about here is battlefield, Internet of Things, drones, 360 battle space awareness, target acquisition. This is video game stuff in the real world. This is like RoboCop kind of nonsense that Microsoft is going to be building for the military. And it's important to point out that even before this military announcement, HoloLens was already being used by Lockheed Martin, which, NASA, in operating rooms, actually, augmenting an actual surgery. Airbus, several companies were already using HoloLens. Now Microsoft has this deal with the military, which is absolutely massive. So obviously, most of us have kept our eyes trained on true virtual reality. That's been where the quote-unquote killer apps have been. Video games in particular have been huge when it comes to VR. So I think most of us have been guilty of watching Facebook with Oculus, HTC's Vive, Valve's Index headset, but we've not paid enough attention to this sort of thing. And this is obviously working towards something quite cool. And I think that you're going to see more and more companies come out with an augmented reality style setup. These headsets are a little gaudy. They're a little bulky. They're not something you want to wear walking around the street. But we're not that far from having a pair of glasses that aren't going to look that weird at all, that's going to have the ability to augment things into the world, to see your text messages or to see the directions of where you're going. Google experimented with this as well quite a long time ago with Google Glass, which, much like a lot of Google products, got sort of thrown in the trash can. Well, not by Microsoft. They stuck with this. They've continued developing it. And that's the point of what I'm getting at here. Because there are reports that Apple is working on a mixed reality headset, and that it may be coming much sooner than we may be expecting. Of course, we have a mock-up here of what that might look like. And there are rumors of 8K panels, advanced eye tracking, all sorts of crazy things that might even be super duper expensive. And yes, while an Apple product or a rumored Google product, of all the people that are being rumored to come out with a mixed reality headset like this, Apple's probably the best position to bring something to the consumer market. This is definitely true. However, they're all going to be literally years behind where Microsoft is with HoloLens. Apple's got some advantages here though, right? So they've got their own silicon that is really powerful. They're really good at making these sorts of things. So I'm not saying Apple can't catch up quickly, but the fact is that Apple is years behind Microsoft. Google is years behind Microsoft. No one has had the experience, and not just the experience, but actually selling this thing as a product Microsoft has already had. And it's also really important to keep in mind that even if Microsoft does not bring a consumer product to market, you're not going to go to the store and buy a, Surface headset or whatever. They're still making billions of dollars from HoloLens. So we have to keep this in mind. We're really quick to ignore the business sector in things. We really only look at consumer products and sales by individuals going into a store and buying something. But Microsoft doesn't just have a lead in terms of tech, they have a lead in terms of dollars in the bank from said tech. And then on sort of the flip side of that coin, we can say that, hey, Microsoft doesn't need to get into the consumer product game to make a lot of money with HoloLens, as they already are. On the flip side, Apple, Google, Facebook, they're not even going to challenge Microsoft on this. They're going to go to the consumer. And I think this is one of the places where Microsoft maybe gets a little bit ignored. I think that people have a really quick tendency to write them off and to maybe ignore their successes because they don't succeed in the same way that Apple does and that Google does. I don't think Microsoft will be that pissed off if Apple's Apple Glass comes out and that's the one all the people buy, when they're getting $22 billion from the military for HoloLens. Personally, I would love to see them produce a consumer product because more competition is just better. And I like Microsoft's hardware. But as it stands now, Microsoft's lead is absolutely massive, and we stand at the precipice of a new world of mixed and augmented reality. And it's super, super interesting. So guys, thanks for watching today's little extra video. Stay tuned for the next release of content, as it will be coming soon. And until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.